Well, hello Science Warriors, welcome to our next video in our flipped classroom here in the Atlas Academy 6th grade science. Today is going to be a video, it should be short, that goes over the renewable resources for our energy resources unit. But first you're going to need to get your science journal, the packet of foldables that was handed out on Friday, both foldables, and we need to do some setup first. So all of this is going to start on page 40 of our journal. So if you turn back a few pages, we should have our minerals lab. Should have glued in our Mohs hardness scale practice on page 37. 38 and 39 should both be blank, but just in case if they are not, we're going to skip those pages and work on page 40 to start with. Okay, first thing we got to do is we need to make a pocket in our journal. So take page 41, fold the top portion into a triangle like so. Make sure you crease it. Notice how the lines make 90-degree angles. Take your glue, you are going to need some glue, and put it across the bottom and up the side of this pocket. Do not put any glue in the triangular area. Fold it over. And once you do, you are going to need to relabel this page as page 40 because we have now made two pages into one. Please label this energy resources. Please excuse the terrible handwriting. Okay, our flashcards that were due on Friday are to go inside of this pocket like so. So that way you can access them whenever you need to. So then that means once that is complete, this becomes your new page 41 since we used actually page 41 to make this pocket. All right, and this is where we're going to put our first foldable. So your first foldable is going to be the one entitled that has energy resources. So it will look like this on one side, or some form of, and this on the other. So to construct this foldable, fold it in half so that this becomes your cover. Why called alternative? Energy resources. The back will have your dots for gluing. Next, we need to take this area here and create a triangle. Okay, if you need some help figuring out where, open this up and we are going to create a crease across this section. So close it, fold this down so that this edge lines up, and now we have our full title. Okay, put your glue on the dots. And then we will place it into page 41. All right. Now let's fill in our foldable. So first off, this flap, we need some information here. Why is it called alternative? Well, let me move my journal. This is what you need to put here. Okay, so make sure to, if you need to, pause the video and copy this into this section. But basically, renewable energy sources are an alternative to fossil fuels or non-renewable sources. They are a better alternative to fossil fuels, of course oil, coal, and natural gas, because they do not damage the environment with greenhouse gases like non-renewable resources do. So basically the idea here is that they are alternative because we can use them instead of something. Okay, so very good. So make sure that that is copied here so that it then gets covered up by the flap. Okay. Now for the last portion, we must open up our foldable to the chart. We have wind, solar, hydropower, geothermal, biomass. These are the 5 renewable energy resources that we have to know the advantages and disadvantages of. Now, how it works is also important because if you don't know how it works, it'll be harder to remember what are the advantages and disadvantages. So in this chart, let's begin filling out the sections. Okay, so looking here, For wind, wind spins turbine to make electricity. So this is how we create the electricity. The advantage is here that there are no emissions and it's low cost after it's built. So at first, to build it, it costs a little bit, but once it's built, you don't have to do much to it. Then our biggest disadvantage is that they only work when the wind blows, and then our second one is that they are expensive to build. So just to make a wind turbine, it's going to cost you a lot of money. But once it's built, it doesn't cost much more. So make sure to get that into the wind section. Next, we're going to talk about solar energy. The sun's rays are captured in photovoltaic cells. What this means is photo is light, volte is for voltage, like electricity, and ic, having to do with. So photovoltaic means converting light to electricity. Advantages here, non-polluting, no pollutants whatsoever. And this is one of the most abundant ways that we can make energy alternatively. Big disadvantage is that it's very expensive. Okay, solar panels are not cheap. Also, it is dependent upon sunny weather. No sun, no energy. Okay, so in case if you need to pause it to view, there you go. Hydropower is next. The way this one works, moving water spins turbines. That turbine then there makes the energy. There are no emissions, and this is a very reliable way to make energy. Our disadvantages are, of course, that it changes the environment and it is expensive to build. It changes the environment because when you build a dam so that you can store water to use for hydropower, you end up changing the directions of rivers and you create new lakes and reservoirs. So you're actually changing the natural habitat, natural environment of that area. Okay, moving on, two more. Geothermal. Heat from deep inside the earth warms. Okay, and it should be warms water to move a turbine. We kind of discussed that in class a little bit. Okay, it has little impact on the environment and there are very low emissions. There are a few emissions due to the process, but not enough to really be too concerned about. And our disadvantages, they are expensive. The startup costs are really, really high to build and dig a hole to use that heat, and we can't use it everywhere. It's really difficult to dig holes deep under the earth where it's so hot that it can actually boil water. All right, let's finish out with biomass. Okay, we use dead plants to burn, to make as fuel, to turn a turbine with steam. That's how it works. Okay, we also can make auto and diesel fuel. Okay, things to run our vehicles from biomass. That's a pretty big one. And then we get some pollution, and then the transport costs are high. We have to transport a lot of different materials in order to use this particular resource. Okay, we got to move them around and get them to the places where we can use it for electricity or convert it into fuel. But there are multiple uses, which is a bonus. All right, Science Warriors. Well, that completes how to set up our journal to make page 40 into a pocket, what to label it, and to fill out the two sections of our renewable energy foldable. Please make sure you check out this part 2 video where we will finish out our second foldable having to do with non-renewable resources. We'll see you next time. This is Coach Jones. Peace.